of the Clipsal 500, one of Australia's premier street events. In the City of Churches, the disciples congregate for a different kind of worship. Ford versus Holden, Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, Viper, Maserati. The Clipsal 500 is round one of the Pro Car Champ Series, an 8-round national motor racing series covering 5 states and starring the gods of motorsport, the champions and the challengers, in a fight to determine the new order for 2003. The series stars the world's fastest road cars in Nations Cup and GTP, the street-brawling, wild-riding cowboys in the V8 Brutes, Formula 3, the proving ground for the blessed, plus the showroom showdown in the Australian Production Car Championship. Welcome to the Clipsal 500 Adelaide and round one of the Pro Car Champ Series, a motorsport feast for the true believers.
Hello everyone and welcome to the opening round of the Pro Car Champ Series. I'm Mark Beretta. Thanks for joining us from the Clipsal 500 in Adelaide. 3 races on the program today and some big name drivers in the Nations Cup this year. Craig Denyer, it's a star-studded field.
Well, it is, Nathan. Pretty, of course. The Monaro that won the Bathurst 24-hour race back in November. John Bowe in a Ferrari. Paul Stokell in a Lamborghini. Jimmy Richards in a Porsche. What a great year, Mark.
Can't wait to get it started. Before we do, here's an explanation of Nations Cup with Alison Drower.
Things are going to be very different this season. It's all due to that thing over there, the bright yellow Holden Monaro home wrecker. It's going to be stirring up the Europeans and the Americans. Now, the Holden Monaro actually falls into Group 1 of Nations Cup, and its horsepower is as awesome as its price tag, $215,000.
It's an idolised car, you know, because it's such an old car and now, I mean, the new model and that. So it's a fantastic opportunity for me to be involved with it and to drive it all year. So it's actually a big car, you know. You watch the Ferraris and the Lambos sort of shoot around, they're high revving, sort of fast turning things. I've got to muscle this thing around, so I'm going to have to use every hour at the gym, you know, inside that car.
And the Monaro, can you beat it?
I don't know at this stage. I don't think we've seen its true potential, but time will tell.
The Monaro may be stealing the show for now, but an old favourite has a new pilot. Tasmanian Greg Crick taking the wheel of the former Jeff Morgan Viper.
It's actually a good car. It's nice to drive. It stops well. The weight is what you really notice. You know, it's over 1,500 kilos, and I'm not a jockey either. And so when you arrive at some of these slow corners, you know, it takes a bit of stopping and it takes a lot of effort to actually get it to change direction because of its weight. But apart from that, it's a great car. It's nicely balanced and it's really good on fast corners.
Yeah.
So.
John Bowe returns for another year, while Lamborghini's Paul Stokell literally has a new man in his team.
So your glamour days with Ferrari are now gone. You are now the serious racer.
Did I have any glamour days? Let's be honest. Just a bloody idiot.
Once again, Nations Cup is divided into 2 groups. Group 1 for the more seasoned drivers, and then Group 2 for those testing their limits, including Danish-born Alan Simonson in a Ferrari.
I got invited the invitation to come down and do the Australian Grand Prix, and we went very well there. So we thought we'll see how it would go in the first round here.
Right. Porsches will also keep Nations Cup a close contest. Jim Richards hoping to guest star in his 911 GT3 several times this series.
Oh, I think the fact that there's Monaros, there's Lamborghinis, there's Ferraris, there's Porsches, there's Vipers, all that's what's good about Nations Cup.
And hoping to rival the Porsche contingent, 2 brand new Maserati Trofeos.
You know, Maserati have done a great job in putting this together with Trident Racing. So in the short time we've had, and look, they're fantastic cars to drive, and you know, having a ball. This is ultimate.
Well, the Trofeo will probably be upgraded to Group 1 by the Bathurst 24-hour. However, for the moment, the Maserati mob are just content to nudge a few Porsches off the podium. Let's go racing now with Grant Boyden and Craig Denyer.
Adelaide Live, the 4-day Clipsal 500 Carnival, one of Australia's greatest street events. 3 Nations Cup races on the program today to make up round 1 of the championship, presented by Clean Event. Grant Boyden, some amazing new cars rolling out, of course, including the homegrown Monaro, the 427 7-litre monster.
Yeah, absolutely unstoppable around the streets of Melbourne. A new driver on board this weekend, plenty for Nathan Pretty to do.
So John Bowe, the fastest in qualifying, 1:23.7. A very, very quick time, almost down to V8 supercar times. Pretty impressive. Paul Stokell in the Crazy John's Lamborghini will start alongside Greg Crick, a great performance in the Jeff Morgan Dodge Viper, and Jimmy Richards, of course, in the OAM's Porsche.
Then Monaro of Nathan Pretty on the next row of the grid. Then the new guy to the series, Alan Simonson in the 360 Challenge Ferrari. Wow, he's been quick. Darcy Russell, Andy Mediki, Andrew Taplin, a new face in 9th position, and Gary Young rounding out 10 in the Maserati.
David Lawson in the Maserati Trofeo, James Konduras in the Porsche 911 GT3, Sammy Newman in the second of the Lamborghinis, and then Murray Carter in the Chevy Corvette.
Already started to touch, coming onto the straight. We are set and away with race 1 for 2003. The Ferrari off the line like a bullet, but no, the Lamborghini. Oh no, he doesn't get there. Wow, what a braking manoeuvre.
John Bowe jumps into the lead. This is round 1 of the late round National Championship. Nations Cup at the Clipsal 500, Group 1 and Group 2. As Bowe heads down into turn 4, hard on the brakes, leading Stokell, then Crick.
He is off like a bullet. Crick having a big look at the Lamborghini on the opening couple of corners. Can't find a way through. You're on board now with the Lamborghini. A huge machine, plenty of horsepower, and there is Paul Stokell hard at work behind the wheel.
The form man here last year taking 2 races, John Bowe taking 1. Joining us in commentary, Garth Tander, the 1997 Formula Ford champ, 2000 Bathurst winner, and of course winner last year of the Bathurst 24-hour race. Garth, welcome.
Thanks, Craig. It's great to be here and part of the Nations Cup category. And Bowie's off like on a storm on this flying lap. He's obviously going to try and get away from the more powerful Lambo and Viper.
Yeah, it's a smart thing to do. You can see Nathan Pretty and the Monaro having a look at the back of the Viper. Can't find a way around on this opening lap. But as you say, Garth, that's the thing to do. Get out in front, keep out of harm's way, and get around this very demanding concrete jungle.
That's right, and Bowie's car actually relies on braking and corner speed, whereas the more powerful cars, the Viper, the Lamborghini and the Monaro, are more of a straight line type vehicle. So Bowie needs to get a wriggle on here, get away from them, so that the more powerful cars can't get around him in the straight.
V8s, V10, V12 cars, the world's most exotic road cars on the racetrack here at the Clipsal 500 as John Bowe leads them across the start-finish line for the first time. Had problems in practice, broke a piston or something in the valve train. They did an engine change for qualifying, but boy, didn't he come out of the box quick in qualifying.
He was real quick. A 23 in a Ferrari is unbelievable.
Pretty, look at this. The Just Car Insurance Monaro down the inside of Greg Crick's Viper.
God damn it, stop smiling.
Yeah, Nathan was pretty disappointed after qualifying, only ending up on the 3rd row, and it's important in qualifying, especially with these rolling starts, to be somewhere near the front, and he's needed to get through in a hurry in the first couple of laps to get up to 3rd and get behind that Lamborghini.
One of the Group 2 Lavazza Maserati Trofeos riding on board with Gary Young there, but you can see now Pretty moving away from Crick. Stokell in the black Lamborghini, the Crazy John's car, still second. They run down this fabulous back straight through this sweeper. Oh, 220, 230 kilometres plus, fabulous stuff.
It's a fantastic corner. One of the best corners we go to as far as racing, and in a Lamborghini it would be pretty awesome.
Look at that car sitting in there behind Jim Richards. That's car 88, the 360 Challenge of Alan Simonson. Had a great performance in the non-championship round at Melbourne back this weekend and looking strong, mixing it up with the front guys, Craig.
Yes, doing a tremendous job. The young 24-year-old James Konduras there in the Super Barn Porsche, leading Sam Newman, who stepped, of course, from the Prendergast Ferrari team into Lamborghini for this season.
Yeah, he was strong at the non-championship round. Struggling this weekend. He loves the racetrack. He says the racetrack just doesn't love him, and struggling to come to terms with that mountain of a car. Have a look at this for an onboard shot, and what a magnificent machine this is, the Maserati.
Yeah, 4.2 litre V8. Growler Young behind the wheel at the moment. You can see it's got the Formula 1 style paddle gear shift, similar to Ferrari. In fact, it's a later design. It's actually a better system. And once they get these cars sorted, these will be fabulous.
Drove a Maserati road car earlier this year, and fantastic car to drive, and I can only imagine the race car being better.
Oh, the battle's on. This is the battle for second. Pretty thinks about a run down the outside. Stokell's got him covered up.
Oh, he's outdone it.
Oh, he nearly bent it again. The boy, he obviously got in fairly hot under brakes there, and looking to set Stokell up for the crossover move.
Let's have a look at the replay.
Yeah, out wide and just got up in that curb on the outside, unsettled the car under brakes, and just had to let it run wide and almost a little too wide into the wall.
Well, the car's certainly carrying plenty of pace at the moment. Nathan Pretty, one of the co-drivers from your team last year, Garth, that took that fabulous win at the Bathurst 24-hour race at Mount Panorama. So John Bowe continues to lead in the Ferrari from Paul Stokell's Lamborghini, Nathan Pretty in the Monaro, Jimmy Richards in the Porsche, then Crick, Simonson, Russell and Mediki. This is Nations Cup from the Clipsal 500 Adelaide.
Welcome back to Nations Cup action around the street circuits of Adelaide. There's David Lawson in the second of the Maseratis on screen at the moment. Oh, he's run wide too.
David Lawson in big trouble in the Lavazza Maserati. Gathers it up now as John Bowe goes through to lap him.
Oh, sweet manoeuvre there. Lawson right out of the way. He didn't have to think about that too hard. Have a look at the replay.
Just looks like got in a bit too hard on the brakes. Probably looking in the mirror to see Bowe coming and trying to get out of the way. And, well, he got out of the way and Bowe got through unscathed.
Almost got right into the wall, to tell the truth. But fortunately for him, oh, I don't know, I hope the underneath of that car's going to be okay.
Paul Stokell in the Crazy Johns, Clarion Lamborghini under pressure from Nathan Pretty. 1 lap to go. They're on their last lap now. Dives down the inside of David Lawson.
Oh, he's pretty good, Paul Stokell. Doesn't matter how much pressure you put on him, the guy is cool, calm and collected behind the wheel.
Oh, look at this battle. Jimmy Richards down the inside of Greg Crick and the Viper.
Yeah, Jimmy up the inside in the tight stuff. Be interesting to see when they get under the longer straights whether the Viper can get it back around Jimmy before the finish line.
There's not much further left to go in this one. There is the Monaro hunting down the Lamborghini. You can see the two are almost equal with speed going down the back straight there.
Drag race down the back straight. Viper on the outside. Jimmy Richards in the Porsche on the inside, side by side.
Jimmy's got himself in the right spot. He was up the inside. The Viper's not going to be able to go around the outside there, and Jimmy will just run her up the inside under brakes here.
Well, can he respond down under brakes? We know the Viper's not strong under brakes, and Jim Richards, yet absolutely in control of the situation, as you would expect from last year's champion.
Fastest lap though, Nathan Prettygarth, 1:24.2, Stokell a 1:25.0.
That's actually quicker than Nathan qualified the car. He was disappointed after qualifying, so to get a time out of that in the race, he'd be happy with.
Well, on the final lap, John Bowe comes onto the main straight, takes the checkered flag and takes first blood in 2003.
Yeah, great result for JB and the team. Paul Stokell coming through, of course, in second in the Crazy Johns Lamborghini. Nathan Pretty will finish third in the Holden Monaro. Great drive. Jimmy Richards fourth. Greg Crick into the top 5-2 in the Chrysler Viper. Yeah, great win too for Alan Simonson, the Cooper's Ferrari 360 Challenge in level 2. Andrew Medicki, Andrew Taplin and Gary Young in the Maserati rounding out the top 4.
Well, what an incredible start to the season for John Bowe and PHR Scuderia. Last year, 5 pole positions, 17 podiums, 9 wins, and now another one in the book for 2003.
This track really suits it. I mean, it's fantastic around here. It just, you wouldn't think a street circuit would, but it flows so well, and it's fantastic. It's such a contrast to the V8. You know, like it hasn't got any power, but it's quick around the corners.
The brakes of the Ferrari got me at the first corner, and we knew the Ferrari had a bit of an advantage over us this weekend, so I was happy to settle in second. I developed a nice pattern. You know, our lap times were hundredths of a second apart, which I was really happy with.
Nathan Pretty, well done. Are you happy with your third spot?
Yeah, I mean, my first race in it, so the whole idea of the whole year really is just to keep it consistent. You know, that's the whole name of the game. So it's a championship now. It's not just a one-round thing. So see what we can do.
Group 2 winner Alan Simonson, the Cooper's Ferrari, very, very lucky to make it to the flag. Problems on the last lap, as Phil Hughes tells us.
As he crossed the line, something broke, so he coasted across the line. So it's lost drive, so it's probably a development year, fair to say, but you know, we pull a bit of weight out, and you know, we're competitive there with a few of the Carrera Cup cars there for 3 laps. So I sort of stuck with them, but they're just a little lighter, and we pull a bit of weight out, and I think, and work on the suspension, the setup, and yeah, I think we're going to be, you know, competitive, hopefully.
To keep the racing nice and tight throughout the Nations Cup this year, we're employing a success ballast system. Now what that means basically is if you win, you'll carry more weight into the next race. Aaron Kelly is the Director of Technical Services for the series this year. Aaron, how does it work?
If you win the race, you will cop 6% of your homologated weight. John Bowe in the first race today, he won the race. He will cop 6% of 1,100 kilograms, which is 66 kilo.
All right, so to put that in terms of this 9-kilogram bar, that's what, 7 of those in the passenger seat?
He would carry nearly 7 of these, exactly.
Now, what about second and third?
Second and third, if he had come second, he would carry 4%, which is 44 kilograms. If he came third, it's 2%, which is 22 kilograms.
Now, what if John Bowe wins the next race?
We can't do anything to him. The weight doesn't go in after every race. 66 kilo is it.
And what if John Bowe doesn't place in the next race?
If he doesn't place at all, if he comes fourth, all the weight will come out of the vehicle.
And the idea is just to keep racing nice and tight?
That's the main objective. The cars are so different, and we're going to so many different circuits this year, it's the only way to keep the racing tight.
Welcome back to the Clipsal 500 Adelaide for Race 2, Round 1 of the Australian Nations Cup Championship, presented by Clean Event, Grant Boyden, a 30-lapper, late Saturday evening in twilight should be fantastic.
Yeah, plenty of conditions to think about here. The sun setting, that'll be coming into their eyes and playing into this one. Twice the journey of the previous race. Let's see how they go.
Well, John Bowe lines up on pole position in the 888 Ferrari. Paul Stokell alongside. Then Nathan Pretty in the awesome 427 Monaro. Jimmy Richards in the OAMPS Porsche. Greg Crick, the Chrysler Viper, and then first of the Level 2 or Group 2 cars, Alan Simonson in the Ferrari.
Behind him, Darcy Russell, Andy Mediki, Andrew Taplin, Gary Young, Sam Newman, James Conduras, David Lawson and Murray Carter.
We'll see what we can do for this next race. It's obviously a bit longer, so I hope that the bigger cars might slow down after some laps, and hopefully I can catch them up by then.
All these cars around me are big engines, where this is actually only a small engine, so the problem is if they pass you, you can never get past them again. So that's, I guess, some people would say that's the appeal of the category.
In view of my spirit of driving in the last race, I got 50 kilos, and so I think it'll make it interesting because Andrew Taplin's going really well, and I reckon he might give me a hard time in this race.
Right, guys, got to bunch them up, thank you. Bunch them up, please.
Race director Mike Dennis calling them into line for the start of this 30-lap race around this fabulous circuit here in Adelaide, riding with Darcy Russell there in the Dodge Viper. So side by side, now down the main straight, it's Bowe trying to crowd Stokell, pushing him to the outside. Pretty on the inside of the Monaro.
Bowe strong, looks like he's got the start there. They go down towards turn one. Paul Stokell on the inside. Wow, he gets a good run, but no, Bowe does it again.
Does it beautifully too. Turn one, Stokell then second, Pretty third. Porsche of Jimmy Richards back there in fourth. Crick's Viper, this field of Level 1, Level 2 Nation Cup cars on the first lap of a 30-lapper.
Incredible. Sam Newman in one of the most expensive sandwiches he's ever likely to have further back in the field. But up front, Bowe once again setting sail around the streets of Adelaide.
Garth Tanner joining us in commentary. Garth, what's the mail from the Holden team after Nathan Pretty's first race?
Yeah, really happy with the way Nathan performed, getting from 5th up to 3rd, and now going to be spending 30 laps behind this Lamborghini, putting as much pressure as he can on it.
Bit of a break lock up there for Greg Crick. He's sitting back in 4th or 5th position at the moment as we see Sam Newman. He's got a Maserati sitting right on his tail and then a Porsche right behind that.
On board with Gary Young, one of the Level 2 Maserati Trofeos, backed by Maurice Romano at Lavazza. Looking forward to a bigger involvement this year too in Nations Cup. Maserati, in fact, building 2 new Super Trofeos to compete in the Bathurst 24-hour in NGT spec in November. Sounds like a bit of a rival for you, Garth.
Well, it sounds like they're queuing up to take on the Monaro at the mountain, so we'll have to double up and take 2 of them up there.
Yeah, this Maserati is going to get stronger as the year goes on. They're searching for a rear spring for that car at the moment. Once they sort out the rear suspension on it, should be very, very strong. And Growler is certainly the man to do it, Gary Young.
John Bowe now leading Paul Stokell in the Crazy John's Lamborghini. There's Pretty, the yellow, just car insurance Monaro. Jimmy Richards in 4th, and the Viper of Greg Crick sitting there in 5th spot.
What do you do about Jim Richards? He's always there waiting to pounce, isn't he? Sitting right behind the Monaro. Had 20 podium finishes last season. That's how come he walked away with the championship.
You never discount Jim Richards. I mean, his car may not have the ultimate speed that these front 3 have got, but he'll be there all race.
Sam Newman coming through the back of the field in the Group 1 Lamborghini Diablo GTR, the car that Paul Stokell drove last year, and Sam defecting from Ferrari to Lamborghini, looking forward to a great year.
Greg Crick starting to close up on the rear of the Porsche, the OAMPS Porsche of Jim Richards, and once again Alex Simonson in the Cooper's Ferrari, still up there mixing it with the best.
Doing a tremendous job, backed by Glenn Cooper and Bruce Siney from Premium Beverages. Let's hope we see him in the rest of the championship as Crick down the inside of Richards too, and actually does to Jimmy what Jimmy did to him in the last race.
That's right, and here we go, Jimmy hard on the brakes again. These guys will have a fairly good battle with the straight line speed of the Viper and the good braking of the Porsche. It'll be on for young and old for quite a few laps here.
Good driving by both of these protagonists. Greg Crick sitting there right up under the rear wing of Jim Richards. You can see that he's got the horsepower to pass him, but the Porsche much better under brakes and more nimble around the corners.
Darcy Russell in the Contraband, Chrysler Viper. Andrew Mediki, the Port Macquarie car dealer, behind him in the Super Cup car. Andrew Taplin in the Porsche GT3. Problems for one of the Lavazza Maseratis. In fact, it's the David Lawson car coming into the pits now.
Oh, that's a big shame, but not unexpected. A lot of smoke coming from underneath that car as well. Hopefully it's nothing too major. You can see the crew working on it. There's the trail of oil. Let's go down to the pits and find out what went wrong.
Yeah, I went over the ripple strip there on the southern hairpin, and the sun was in our eyes, and just, yeah, it's taken the air jack out, and it looks like it's punched something through the gearbox.
Race 2, round 1 of the Australian Nations Cup Championship. John Bowe continues to lead, but this is where the battle is. It's Crick in the awesome V10 8-litre Viper trying to run down Jimmy Richards.
Oh, look at the pace of these two. Absolutely side by side. Did they touch? Yes, they did. Have a go at that at big speed, Garth.
Jimmy was trying to crowd the Viper into the wall there, I think, and a small touch, and we've got a problem here in turn 1.
Oh, looks like it might be, in fact, Gary Young also in trouble in the Maserati. I think it might have been Andrew Taplin who was buried there in the bunker. But Young has also turned around the Maserati Trofeo coming in there, so probably spooked by what he saw, the dust in that.
I'm not wondering whether there may have been oil at play there as well from the early Maserati problem.
Let's have a look at this. This is the Jim Richards, Greg Crick touch, and you can see that Richo really moved over on it, didn't he?
Yeah, well, the Viper has got a fair bit of poke in a straight line, and Richo was trying to cover his line, but couldn't do it.
Here is the replay of Gary Young just missing that tyre wall there, but too late. He's out of play and backing it over towards where Andrew Taplin. His safety car has come out, and Garth, you were 100% right. The oil flag on display there at the start-finish line. So obviously oil on the track, and that's taken Taplin out.
So John Bowe in the 888 PHR Scuderia Ferrari 360 GT continues to lead from Paul Stokell's Lamborghini. Nathan Pretty doing a tremendous job, third outright in the Monaro. Then Greg Crick in the Chrysler Viper from Richards. First in the level 2 cars, Alan Simonson. Running second in level 2, James Konduras in the Superbarn Porsche 911 GT3.
Welcome back to the streets of Adelaide and race 2 of round 1. You're on board with the Lamborghini Diablo as now they come up on traffic.
Restart this time around, and unfortunately Stokell held back. He can't pass Young's Maserati until he gets to the start-finish line. Bowe has got the jump now in the Ferrari, leads them one more time through turn 1. Now Stokell comes through and Pretty right on his tail.
Yeah, but look at Bowe. He's disappeared off into the distance. The Viper right up onto the tail of Gary Young, trying to find a way past as well. There is the battle for second position. The Monaro up against Paul Stokell's Diablo.
So Garth Tander, this is going to be a fascinating battle.
Yeah, Bowe really used that lap traffic at the restart to his advantage to get a jump, because I would have thought Stokell would like to have been right up the backside of the Ferrari to get a run onto him down there, a VB back straight here, see if he can get around the outside before the sweeper. But Bowe's got a jump, and now it's up to Stokell and Nathan in the Monaro to get up behind him and try and catch.
Simonson under pressure from Darcy Russell in the Chrysler Viper 2. Down the back straight here at the Clipsal 500 Adelaide. The Viper on the outside. 8 litres against the 3.6 litre Ferrari on the inside. And Darcy goes through.
Oh, great overtaking manoeuvre then. Alan Simonson not giving up though. Trying to close in on that very, very quick 2001 spec, if you like, Viper.
James Konduras doing a good job in the Superbarn GT3. This is Gary Young back on track now in the Maserati Trofeo, the Levanza car, after bunkering it in the early stage of this race. So certainly Konduras well ahead of him now.
You will see here now at the hairpin, we were on board with Gary Young there. JB is well out of the distance, and you've got to remember, just a lap ago, Gary Young in the Maserati was right behind him at the restart.
Yeah, very difficult thing to do in lap traffic, get clear of it and shoot off. As too as the sunlight. Have a look at this, on board with the Contraband car, and he's missed the turn.
Oh, Simonson goes through, so Darcy's gone bush to wave to some pretty girl in the stands, no doubt about it. This is the difference between the Monaro and Lambo. You can see a V8 7-litre Chev versus a V12 6-litre. The Monaro running the 6-speed Hollinger sequential box, the Lambo the 5-speed H pattern. About 600 horsepower or so from the Monaro. Similar figures too from the Lamborghini, and you can see that quite a bit of difference in weight. About 1,400 kilos the Monaro, 1,270 for the Lambo. You want to buy a 427 road car, Garth? You can, I believe. HRT are building them. About $250,000 should be a real weapon.
Yeah, and I've got my name down for one already, so looking forward to trying to get hold of those off those guys.
Well, that was the difference technical-wise. This is the difference practical-wise. The car's absolutely nose to tail on the track at the moment. Have a look at the brake discs. Wow.
That gives you an idea of how hot it is. Upwards of 700 degrees Celsius. The brakes. Newman's got a problem too in turn 1. Sam Newman all over the place.
That's not how you drive a Lamborghini Diablo.
I think someone forgot to tell Sam that these aren't four-wheel drive vehicles, and these Lamborghinis are quite close to the ground.
Now Pretty again working the back of Paul Stokell's Lamborghini. There's Crick in 4th spot in the Chrysler Viper. Jimmy Richards tucked in behind him. But this is a tremendous battle. In fact, when you look at the two cars, Garth, I mean, there's not really a lot between them in any area.
No, as far as performance-wise goes, there isn't a big difference. And here we go, Nathan up the inside under brakes. Big move.
Pretty in the Just Cars Insurance Monaro side by side now. In fact, Stokell trying to come back at him, and he does. Beautiful move. Great defensive driving from Paul Stokell.
Oh, that's too much money to be side by side ride on a racetrack for my money.
Yeah, well, I think Paul obviously had to worry about he's got to go to the Lamborghini spare parts bin, whereas Nathan's only got to go to the local Holden dealer to get him.
Andrew Madiki in trouble as he spins it, coming onto the main straight. Oh, punches the wall too, yeah. This is the car that Tony Quinn drove at the Melbourne Grand Prix and in last year's Nations Cup Championship. So now been repaired as he drives down, gives John Bowe heart palpitations, pulls to the left, waits for the faster cars to come through, and again that battle continuing between Stokell and Pretty.
No overtaking till the start-finish line until he gets it moving. Loops it round quite nicely. Left a little bit of panel work on the track as well. Lights up the rear tyres. He's busted and disgusted.
Oh, and again, look at the glow from the front brakes of the Lamborghini. I tell you what, they've got the package sorted out on this car, though. We've seen the Lamborghini struggle under brakes over the past few seasons, but no problem this year. Look at it. And Stokell absolutely online, under enormous pressure.
Yeah, and Paul must be really using the brakes very heavy to be getting that sort of glow in the front discs. He'd be really pulling the car up hard. Nathan in the Monaro has been saying all weekend he's been struggling to pull the car up. A car weighing 1,400 kilos with that sort of weight moving around and pulling it up under brakes is hard work. And it looks like the Lamborghini may have a small advantage there.
Well, Garth Stokell has a mountain of experience as we watch Andy Madiki stepping out of his car. What can Nathan Pretty do to get round the former Gold Star champion?
Well, obviously Paul Stokell drives the Lamborghini extremely well, and what he's doing is positioning the car in a position where Nathan can't get through. And really Nathan looks to be quicker through the first chicane, so maybe he's got to hang back and get a run up on him there to try and make the pass into turn 3 at the end of Wakefield, right?
Darcy Russell all over the back of Sam Newman's Crazy John's Clarion Lamborghini. And Sam doing a tremendous job. He's found jumping out of the Ferrari into the Lambo quite a challenge. It's not an easy car to drive around Adelaide, and certainly all that concrete, Garth, must be fairly intimidating too from the driver's point of view.
And Sam did a fantastic job at the Grand Prix, really did, and I think he may be struggling a bit more with the morning itis after partying the night before, maybe.
The Contraband car right under brakes, gets right up under the rear wing of the Diablo of Sam Newman. They're on their final lap, making their way around the tighter sections of the racetrack. There's the team waiting for John Bowe to come onto the straight. He does so now. It's going to be 2 wins in 2 races for John Bowe and PHR Scuderia.
125.1, the fastest lap of the race. John Bowe on the last lap, and Stokell goes through to finish second. Nathan Pretty third. Then we've got Greg Crick and, of course, Jimmy Richards in the Porsche.
Then it should be Alan Simonson crossing the line, the first of our Group 2 cars, with James Conduris and Murray Carter top 3 in Group 2. Good performance there by the Chevrolet.
Great bag of championship points from John Bowe, Stokell, Pretty, Crick, Richards in level 2, Simonson, Conduris, Murray Carter and Gary Young in the Maserati Trofeo rounding out the level 2 field.
I think this year we'll have some quite good races where the big engine cars are good on some tracks and this is good on others, so you know it'll be good, I think.
Yeah, that one was hard. Yeah, I had to work for that one, but yeah, had to do a bit of blocking towards the last laps with Nathan, but it was a good clean fight, and yeah, he drove well.
I want to make it fair. I don't want to bloody bump into him or anything, so it's just one of those things, sort of play fair, and hopefully he'll do the same to me one day.
It was good watching the Lamborghini and the Monaro just in front. I couldn't quite catch him, just a little bit more. And I was having my own battle with Jim, of course, which was very good.
Oh, well, I enjoyed the race. It was fantastic. For us to get up with the Viper was great, and we went far away from the leaders, so it was good.
Alan, a win in the class, well done.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, there was quite a long race and it went very well. Obviously, there was no other Group 1 cars that went off. I'd hoped for a podium finish, but unfortunately we couldn't get that today, so we'll see what we can do tomorrow.
Good result, second in the class?
Yeah, got lucky. A few of them came off, so we took the opportunity whilst it was there and drove consistently, and it was a good second.
So, okay, Sam Newman's got a little bit of a reputation, but he is fast gaining credibility as a man that can hold his own against drivers who really, to be honest, could not kick a footy ball for quids.
You've always got credibility. When you get out of their way, they say nice things about you.
When Sam Newman started racing, many were quick to write it off as just another facet of his playboy image. But after a few seasons behind the wheel of a Ferrari, Newman has changed his colours to Lamborghini yellow, and things seem to be going well so far.
He's very good client.
Sam Newman does take his racing seriously. You just have to remember, Sam doesn't take himself too seriously.
What do you do away from a track to kill all that time?
What, you've not experienced the delights of Adelaide? What a marvellous city. You've been down and seen the river flow? Yeah. Yeah, it's flowing, and went down into the cemetery and had a look at a few graves, and then we went down to Rundle Street and watched the lights change at about midnight last night. It's fantastic down here.
Prancing horse to a raging bull, Sam.
That's right. I wish that were true in real life.
Look at those eyes. Look at that focus.
Yeah, don't go any further down the torso, you'll be disappointed.
So, in 2003, Sam Newman, definitely more rev head than he is buff head these days, and holding his own 2 in Group 1. Let's go now to more Nations Cup action with Craig Denyer and Grant Boyden.
Well, the car's about to come out onto the track as the Air Force rumble in the skies above. Soon the Nations Cup cars will be rumbling around the street circuit of Adelaide.
John Bowe takes up pole position in the 888 Ferrari 360 GT. Stokell alongside in the Lamborghini. Then Nathan Pretty, 2 third places in the 427 cubic inch Monaro. Crick alongside him in the Chrysler Viper. Then Jimmy Richards, the orange Porsche. First of the level 2 cars, Alan Simonson in car 88.
Sam Newman in 7th, Darcy Russell off 8th, James Conduras, Murray Carter, Gary Young. Mediki looks like a non-starter, Taplin and Lawson.
No, I think 12 laps, the field should be quite close. Everyone now is on sort of tyres they've used, so hopefully it might be the closest race yet, but then again it could be a runaway, who knows.
The cars are very quick. There's a bit of development work there to do, and look, you've got to remember they came straight over from Italy 2 weeks ago.
Made a superb drive by Paul last night. You must have been very proud of him in the 30-lapper.
Well, he said to me last night that's the hardest he's ever had to drive the car. I mean, the car was absolutely fully extended, and very well done to Nathan Pretty because he didn't do anything dirty or nasty, and it could have been ugly if he wanted to. But no, it's been a very good weekend's racing. It's very close, so it's going to be one hell of a year, I think.
So almost set now for the final race of round 1 of the Australian Nations Cup Championship. Paul Stokell closing the door on the Crazy John's Lamborghini as they roll around for the start line.
You don't want to slam that one, it's too dear. What a magnificent display of cars on board there with the Monaro. This is what you'll see throughout the race. Darcy Russell carrying it out on board for race number 3.
Monaro safety car leading them around. John Bowe on pole position as the safety car peels off.
Come on, guys, I need you to start bunching up. Stop weaving and bunch up, thank you.
Oh, they're getting set. You could hear race director Mike Dennis giving them the instructions. Onto the main straight. Race 3, round 1. We are set once again. The Ferrari and the Lamborghini touching panels. There's the green flag and we're away.
Whoa, and the lion has roared. Look at Pretty around the outside. He's savaged the prancing horse. He's leapt on the raging bull. He goes into the lead. Monaro leads for the first time.
What an unbelievable start there by Nathan Pretty, and he's already pulled out a couple of car lengths. Crick also hard under brakes. Lots of brake lock up there from him.
Well, Garth Tander, I think Bowe and Stokell got caught up in their own little battle towards the start line and forgot about the yellow Monaro.
Yeah, Nathan has been Nathan hasn't done a lot of rolling starts before in the Monaro, so he's been getting better at them all weekend, and he couldn't have got that one any better. Bowe and Stokell were worrying about each other, and just Nathan right around the outside.
John Bowe unstoppable so far in 2003, but now he has all the work to do in behind the Crazy John's Lamborghini Diablo of Paul Stokell. Well, you can see him weaving all over the track. He hasn't seen this before.
And Pretty's got them too. Look at Pretty now. Flat biscuit through this fast sweep, but now John Bowe doesn't need to be, and certainly doesn't want to be back there in 3rd spot, because the Ferrari has far less horsepower than the Lambo and the Monaro in front of it. He really needs to stay with him and hopefully get some clean air to maximise the car's corner speed. Being slowed down by the larger cars through the corners is really going to hurt John Bowe.
You see there straight away, Stokell's stopping the car in the mid-corner. Bowe can't do anything about it. Gets stuck under the rear wing of the Lamborghini, and then the Lamborghini can just accelerate away and leave Bowe standing there.
Gary Young giving Sam Newman plenty to think about. Oh, he's lost it. He's out on the grass and hits the wall.
In fact, lost it. I think he might lose it with his teammate in the pits at the end of this race, because I've got a fair idea he might have been tagged by his teammate David Lawson.
Well, that's not a real tight corner, and the Maserati guy had a fair bit of attitude on board there, so he could have got a bit of a help from behind.
Well, if I'm wrong, sorry, Gary, but wow, that's no way to treat a Maserati.
Look at Crick now, putting pressure on John Bowe in the Ferrari 360 GT. Let's have a look at the replay. And yes, Lawson was in there. Caught the left-hand rear quarter panel of the Maserati and turned it around. Let's have a look at the restart of this fabulous race here.
Yeah, Nathan up through the gears. Couldn't have got any closer to the rear of the Ferrari, and then goes right around the outside. And like I said, I think Bowe and Stokell are worrying about each other, and Nathan caught him napping.
This is what it looked like from on board the Contraband car of Darcy Russell heading up to turn 1. You can see Crick slamming on the anchor, Simonson going through.
Gary Young trying to recover.
David just turned me around.
I think he's a little bit upset. That's the man he's talking about. David Lawson on screen in car 28. Interesting. And they're put garage at the end of this one, Craig.
Yeah, you know what that feels like, Garth. I dare say that's happened to you once or twice.
Yeah, sometimes it's harder work being the team manager than the actual driver sometimes.
You run, they're outside your pit garage.
So, folks, at the end of this race, garage 25. That's the spot to be.
Spare parts from the Maserati.
Paul Stokell still trying to chase down Nathan Pretty, who leads in the 427 cubic inch Monaro, and look at the gap he's got.
Yeah, Nathan really trying to do a John Bowe here and pull a gap on the field, and Bowe's doing everything he can to get around the Lamborghini, but like I said, Paul's doing all the right things, keeping him behind.
Nathan Pretty continues to lead. Alan Simonson the top of Group 2 here at the Clipsal 500.
When you see the rental, when you see it's almost over now, almost over now.
Final race of the Nations Cup round here at the Clipsal 500. Nathan Pretty continues to lead, but this is the battle for second. It's Stokell and John Bowe all over him, and now Greg Crick joining in too.
Yeah, he's lined this one up perfectly, comes side by side with the Ferrari and is out in front, Garth Tender.
Have a look at the power of that Viper. Both the Lamborghini and the Viper streeting away from the Ferrari, and not much Bowe can do about it.
His day's getting worse, Craig.
Jimmy Richards hanging in there as well, and we mentioned earlier, this is what John Bowe can't afford to have as he tries to poke the nose of the Ferrari down, but if he gets caught up behind the bigger engine cars that slow him down through the corners, he can't maximise the entire lap speed of the Ferrari and will fall off them.
Well, Stokell has a bit of breathing room now as Crick does battle with John Bowe, and Jim Richards starting to close up on this three. Could be a three-way go for second soon.
Just checking the lap times. I tell you what, they're all close. They're all lapping in the 125s at the moment, and again, the Crick Chrysler Viper right up on the back of the Crazy John's Lamborghini. Bowe falling off the tail. Jimmy Richards now starting to close on the John Bowe car.
124.82 that time across the line for the Monaro. It still leads in front of this man, Paul Stokell. And you can see Crick has all of a sudden got very racy. He brings the crickcars.com.au car right up onto the tail of the Crazy John's Lamborghini.
Monaro.
Oh, up over the footpath.
Absolutely. The Monaro used to be called a Monaro in the 60s. Now it's called a Monaro. As John, in fact, there's problems with Pretty. Pretty in the Monaro is in trouble. The car's slowing. So Stokell's gone through to the race lead. Crick right on his tail, then Bowe, Richards. So problems, Garth, with the Just Car Insurance Monaro.
Yeah, no smoke coming from the car, and there's obviously no damage from the outside looking in. So hard to say what it is. Could be driveline or something along those lines.
Well, Gary Rogers Motorsport, the man that built the car. Let's have a listen, and you can hear that it's actually broken something in the driveline.
Yeah, it sounds like a clutch, and not getting any sort of drive, and yeah, Nathan's just pulled it offline, and nothing he can do as the field goes by.
Very cruel.
So Nathan Pretty pulling the car over now. Let's find out if there's what the problem is. Down to Gary Rogers with Mark Beretta.
Gary, what is it, mate? Well, I'm not sure. He's said it had a bit of a vibration in it a couple of laps back, and now it's got no drive. I wouldn't mind betting it's broken an axle, if I'm any judge.
Well, it really is game over for the Monaro in this one. Game over and out. Don't forget, folks, you can check when the Pro Car Champ Series is coming to your town, your racetrack, your state by checking out the Pro Car website.
We're looking at the battle for second. Crick still right up onto the tail of the Lamborghini now, looks to the outside. Has that allowed John Bowe up the centre? It certainly has. He goes through into third.
Yeah, Cricky was looking to do the over and under trick on the Lambo and forgot all about that red Ferrari behind him. Bowe slipped up the inside, so see how we go next time down the back straight.
Never give Bowe an even break. Crick trying to come back at him now. Bowe tucked in behind the Lamborghini again. Stokell trying to maximise the car speed, stays out wide. Now gasses it up. Bowe can't run with him in the power stakes. What can Crick do in the Viper?
Well, here comes Jim Richards into this battle too, as Crick goes screaming past the Ferrari, and looks like Richards is going to apply the pressure to Bowe now too.
And Stokell and the Lamborghini really didn't get away from Cricky and Bowe as they were fighting for second. You would have expected as they were fighting that Stokell could pull a small gap, but it looks like it'll stay a battle between these four cars for the lead.
Great job there by Gary Young and the Maserati to keep right out of this battle and let them fight it out on the racetrack itself without any lap traffic. There's Crick, car number 2, wants to make it 1 at the end of this season.
I tell you what, he's been the form man in this race. Whatever changes they've made, he's just set the fastest lap, 124.7, the first 24 we've seen from the Viper this weekend.
Yeah, good job by Greg, and he hasn't done a lot of laps in this car, so every lap that he does do, he'll be getting more and more comfortable and more at home, and it's a good car to drive, and Greg drives it well.
Keep your eyes on the OM's Porsche of Jim Richards. 4 wins last season, 20 podium finishes, so that's how he wins his championship, by staying there and staying out of trouble. What will he do to John Bowe in this final race?
Well, a tremendous pressure drive from Paul Stokell. in last night's event here at the Clipsal 500 to hold out Nathan Pretty. Now he's got the Viper, the Ferrari and the Porsche closing on him in the closing stages of this final race.
I don't even know how Paul Stokell sees out the back of that Lamborghini. It's so big. And when they get sit right behind him, I know.
Oh, Bowe touching up Greg Crick big time.
Well, I reckon the front bumpers will be a bit more expensive on the front of that Ferrari than they are on JB's Ford Falcon supercar, so I don't know you'd want to be doing that too often.
I can tell you in the Lamborghini Diablo, Jim Richards right around the outside. Wow, what a move by him. Those two were battling and Jim said, thank you very much. You keep fighting, I'll take the honours.
Yeah, again, a classic performance from Jimmy Richards. Thinks about a run down the inside. Bowe closes under brakes. Richards forced to slide into third spot. Bowe still trying to regain. It's quite hard to imagine that Bowe won 2 out of 2 races so far this weekend and is now struggling to get inside the top 3.
That's right. Here we go back to a replay, and this is Bowe right up behind the Viper, and this is where he lost his run going down the back straight.
Look at this, the battle for second spot. Oh, Richards so good under brakes. Right up behind Crick and the Viper. Stokell running away with it. What a great year, though, to celebrate Lamborghini's 40th year. Let's hope Stokell can pull off the win.
Well, he'll certainly be trying hard. Thought Bowe got a bit of a run coming onto the straight, but Jim Richards, straight over the top, off the ribbon strips, an airborne Porsche Garth.
Here we go, on to the last lap, and look at Jimmy Richards right up the inside, not giving Bowe any room at all.
Oh, all in the fours now, too. Stokell a 124.9, Crick a 124.7, Bowe a 124.92.
This might be interesting. You could see Stokell going around his teammate Sam Newman. Will Sam Newman try and hold up this freight train? Crick. Then we go back to Richards and Bowe. Well, he's certainly done it. Look at that. Oh, a bit of push and shove.
Absolutely. Just tags the back of the Lamborghini. Sam always looks in the rear vision mirror. Not at the cars, just at himself most of the time.
That's harsh. That's harsh. Crick now down through the sweeper. Jim Richards not close enough to have a go under brakes. And Bowe way out of this one. The Crazy John's Lamborghini leads them home.
Richo's really only got one opportunity left on this lap, and that's into the final corner, the final hairpin, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Greg Crick will have that covered.
I tell you what, it's a great drive from both Greg Crick and Jimmy Richards. I mean, really inspired stuff in this race.
Especially from Jimmy, though. That car's probably down a little bit on horsepower than the leading cars, and he's really used his head and beaten a lot of the faster cars.
Well, as they come onto the main straight, there is the battle for second, but the Crazy John's Lamborghini Diablo will come down across the line and take the checkered flag and the win in race 3. Crick crosses the line in second. What a fantastic debut for him. And third will be Gentleman Jim in the OM's Porsche.
Italy rules in Nations Cup, 3 out of 3. Thanks, Garth Tander. Thanks for your commentary, and let's hope you sort out the problems with the Monaro before the next round at Simmons Plains.
It will be back, and it'll be bigger and better. Have no fear.
Well, there was Alan Simonson coming across the line, the first of our Group 2 cars to finish. And the man of the moment, Paul Stokell, waving the hand out the window.
34 years of age, 3-time Australian Gold Star champ, and a great win for Paul Stokell, finishing second on the road. Tremendous drive, Greg Crick, and of course Jimmy Richards third, and also a fairly inspired drive from John Bowe.
Then we go to Alan Simonson, the first of the Group 2 cars, Darcy Russell, Sam Newman in the second of the Lamborghinis, Dave Lawson, who had that moment, and Murray Carter in ninth. Gary Young rounds out the top 10. Paul, well done.
Yeah, thanks. Tough race, but yeah, fortunately, once I got John and Cricky caught him, which was a handy thing for me, kept him off my tail, and then we were lucky enough to have the Monaro go out. So, yep, unfortunate for some, but we'll take it while we can.
It was hard work, but it was a lot of fun. Thoroughly enjoyable. You know, it's just fantastic to race against these guys.
If you keep pressing on as hard as you can, things happen. They're involved in their own dice, so I can keep up, which is good.
And this time finished 5th, so yeah, just kept getting better.
Let's take a look at the championship results after round 1. John Bowe leads the way over Paul Stokell, Greg Crick and Jim Richards. Level 2 looks this way. Alan Simonson on top, Gary Young, Murray Carter and James Konduras.
Ferrari tops the manufacturer's table, 166 points from Porsche, 107, then Lamborghini 99, Chrysler Viper 74 points.
Well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed all the racing of this opening round of the Nations Cup. Paul Stokell, you've been trying for 3 years to win this championship, and a great start here in Adelaide.
Yeah, we can't ask much more than this. It's not really a track suited to our car, and for Lamborghini to come out on top, you know, we're all wrapped and looking forward to rubbing doors at Simmons Plains.
We look forward to some good racing there. Don't forget Simmons Plains, April 26th and 27th, and we'll see you soon.